When you want it, you find a way. When you don't want it, you find an excuse. Anything that you do in your life is because you wanted it. You wanted to do it. You wanted something out of it, right? And anything you didn't do was because you didn't want it. And this is why I genuinely don't like people that say, I want it so badly, and yet in their lives, nothing shows for it. Because that statement that they just said was a straight up lie. If a person truly wants something, they will get it. If they want it badly enough, it will happen. A person that truly wants something has two conclusions. They achieve that thing or they die trying to do that thing. And I think a lot of people have to be more extreme and set their foot down when it comes to these things that they want, or they say they quote unquote want. I've always loved listening to those old tapes and audios of old school bodybuilders from the golden era talking about their training philosophy. People like Tom Platz especially, where they go so far and they just say that you have to want it. You have to want these things in your life if you want them to happen. Everything internal needs expression. Everything internally that we feel and think needs to be expressed, at least for the things that aren't crimes and absurdly deranged. Anything that we truly want to do, like eating, we will eat. If we want to sleep, we will sleep. If we want to talk, we will talk. And the same goes for any goal that you have or anything that you want to pursue. If you truly want it, you will find a way to move through and achieve it. For so much of my life, I've wanted to be a better man. I wanted to be a better man for the sake of God, for the sake of family. I sought to be stronger. I sought to be more faithful. I sought to be more courageous. I sought to be more kind and forgiving. I sought to be more wise. I sought to be more of a man than I already was, every single moment in my life. When you truly want something, every single moment will be dedicated to achieving and fulfilling that purpose. Being a better man is very vague, but it's what I can classify my entire life and what I've pursued most of my life for. I wanted to get in the gym because I wanted to be stronger. Why did I want to be strong? Because I wanted to prove myself that I wasn't a weakling, that I wanted to be a man. Why do I pursue YouTube? Because I wanted to teach out there and tell others and be a leader as a man should. I wanted to follow God because I knew that this was the truth. And as a man, you uphold integrity and you uphold the truth. Every single moment in my life has been dedicated to at least doing or thinking about how to be better, how to do those things better. And it truly is strange how so many people will wonder, why can't I achieve things? It's really simple. You have to want it. You gotta want these things in your life if you want to see it become true and realized. But it's a little cruel in that it's not something that can be taught. Wanting something badly enough does not happen from speaking it or, learning it or studying it. That's not what happens. It comes from living it. My whole life, I have suffered. It was so incredibly hard living the way I was that I didn't want it any other way. That I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. That I wanted to get out of the person that I was. That I wanted to get out of my own body and make a new one. That I wanted to get out of my own mind and renew myself. I was an extremely broken and just resentful person before. I hated every moment that I lived staying that person. And to me, it became easier to change and flip my whole life upside down to stay the same, because that's how much I simply hated who I was. The one change in perspective that I think you truly need is to start seeing that staying the same way is harder than becoming that other person. To see change as easy and to see staying the same as hard. But that's not something that you can just tell yourself constantly time and time again. It's something that you have to apply to your life and live through. You can say these things all you want, but if you don't live it and you don't make actual action and purpose out of it, nothing will happen. Nothing. You have to live in such a way that it teaches your body and ingrains it so deeply that changing is easier than staying the same. That being better is easier than staying the same or regressing. It's almost strange how I've almost developed like a part of my brain that tells no to the part of my brain that says no, right? Times that I hit leg day, I'll imagine and question myself, why do I do this? Why am I here putting myself through all this pain? It freaking sucks. I'm tired and I don't want to be here. I'm pushing 500 pounds off my legs, off my body. Why do I do this? It's simple. Because I can. I can't stop. I have to. I have to keep going. That's truly the perspective and mindset that I have. It's easier for me to keep going and push harder in that leg day than to stop. I don't think I've had a single leg day where I've regretted going to it, where I've felt that I could have gave more. Every single time I make sure I cannot walk by the end of it. That is something I've promised to myself. You know why? Because I wanted it. I want to be stronger. I want this. I don't want a life that's easy. I want a life that's challenging and fulfilling, that leads me to be a better man, that I can lead and grow. That's what I want. And when you want it so deeply, so internally, so just viscerally, there's no other way. There's no other choice. You're desperate to just keep moving, keep growing, and keep moving towards that thing. But it's definitely important to have a reason, a goal, a purpose, a why for wanting. That reason for me has changed a lot in my life. But almost always, it's been something deeply personal and intentful, and something that has altered my life severely. Before it used to be for myself, then it was my family, then now it's God. And I think God is definitely the greatest reason a person could ever have. God is eternal. God is never changing. He's always going to be there looking to you. And it's a reason that you could never give up unless you yourself decide. It's the most stable and reasonable and logical reason that I've come to. It's the one thing that truly matters, the one thing that is worthy of committing myself to. So if you want anything, you have to want it. You have to want it so badly, more than you want to live. You can't keep finding excuses for yourself. I remember one quote by Tom Platz, where he's talking about freaking genetics. How people say that they're a victim of their genetics, or they act like it. But Tom Platz instead says, I'm going to make genetics a victim of me. And that might be delusional. Sure, it definitely is. But a delusional idiot, I think, is always going to be better than an overthinking genius. But I hope that little rant was at least a little helpful, Hope it was a little inspiring. I want you guys to get out there and do the work that you need to. Get out there and build yourself into a better man. I hope this was at the very least a little helpful on that track. But that's about it for me. God bless.